Welcome to the Encore Audio Archives YouTube channel. I'm Taper Dave, and this is my channel. I've uploaded hundreds of talks here that I've recorded at meetings in West LA, and I've also recorded conventions starting in 2013. I've got a bunch of those up. And Walt and Mary Murray, the original owners of Encore Audio Archives, started the company in the 80s, and Walt recorded Joe and Charlie's and a bunch of stuff down in Vista, California. My sobriety date is June 20th of 1994. I hope you find something you like, so please like and subscribe to my channel and comment down below. If you want to hear something that I don't have or that you don't see, I'll see that I get it. Anyways, take care and have a great day if you want to.
Hello, everybody. My name's Chuck. Sober by the grace of God, spiritual experiences and the power that I continue to find within myself that was revealed to me through dying from the disease of alcoholism and being reborn. Thank you, God, for that. What did he say? Quit at 7:20? Is that what you said?
At least.
Sure. What time is it? Anybody know? 7:15? Okay, here we go. My name's my prayer is that I can articulate the miracle that has occurred in my life. Each and every time that I try to do this, I always leave going, darn it, I didn't quite do it right. You know what I mean? Those of us who have had a spiritual experience and are walking this miracle path, you know what I'm talking about when we try to describe it to somebody. I always leave going, I didn't tell it right. But I'm going to do the best I can. I have a love affair going on with you, and I fell in love with you in 1991. And the reason I fell in love with you is because you answered the question that had burned in my soul for years. It's a question you ask yourself. Nobody can be around when you ask it. Sun's coming up, blood's running down your arms, and I did it again. And the silence in the room is so loud it'll bust your eardrums. And it goes like this. What's wrong with me? My God, what's wrong with me? And you answered that for me. And right behind it, a solution. And I've been with you ever since. I understand today what's wrong with me, and I understand what the solution is, and by God's grace, I've been able to participate in it on a daily basis. I understand the obsession that drives me to drink and that causes me to take a drink in front of every issue in my life, including my life, and the allergy of the body that condemns me to go mad, die, or get locked up. But what I want to talk to you about tonight is something that I believe is just as factual as that, at least in my case and a lot of people that I've worked with. I believe what an alcoholic also is a person with an extreme capacity to love, but with no way to express it. And not only can I not express it, I can't receive it either, so if you try to love me, you'll get sick. Now, what happened to me is I was walking around with in this body with an extreme capacity to love with no way to express it or receive it. There's a name for that, by the way. It's called hell. Well, one day I was skipping school with Colton Ponton, and we went over to his house, and they were poking holes in the bottom of Schlitz cans and pulling the top and drinking it out of the bottom real fast. I said, what are y'all doing? They said, well, we're going to suck these down real fast. I said, why? He said, because it'll make you feel good. Well, all I can tell you is Colton Ponton lied to me that day, okay? It didn't make me feel good. It made me feel good. I want you to know something else. I expressed love that day, okay? I loved Colton Ponton. I loved Schlitz. I loved the people I was hanging with. I loved myself. I loved everything about it, okay? I really did. Well, that wears off, though. I don't know if y'all have noticed that, but it does. Well, of course y'all noticed that. You wouldn't be here if you didn't. But it wears off, and now I'm stuck in a body. I can't love, I can't express it, and I can't receive it. I walked over to Brock King's house, and there was something laying on his kitchen counter. It was gooey. I took it, I drank it, and then I asked him what it was. And he said, well, Chuck, that was mushroom tea. I said, really? Well, I didn't think too much about it, to be honest with you, and I don't think I drank enough of it personally to do much of anything. All it did to me was make me smile for about 40 hours. But the thing about it was I knew I didn't do enough of it, so I asked him, I said, where's that come from? They said, well, it grows in cow shit. And I said, really? I want you to know to this day, today, I believe that anybody that's willing to eat something out of cow shit needs help. Okay, I just do. But at that time, I really didn't know it, and I was trying to express love. You know, it was all I was trying to do. So I went out there to the field, and I had my little spray bottle, and I was spraying them down and eating them, spraying them down and eating them, because I was not going to do enough again. When suddenly, I don't know, my hand, I guess there was about 80 of them, you know. And I looked over, and the cows melt, and I thought to myself, holy cow. I love this place. And I started expressing love again. It was amazing, okay? Well, it wore off too. And so now I'm stuck in a body that can't love anymore. And I can't express it or receive it. So one of my friends came home from the Army, and he had the apartment of his own. He's the only one who had an apartment, okay? So we all like banged over at his house. And one day I walked over to his house, and he was on his toilet with a needle in his arm. I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm going to stick this in my arm. I said, why? He said, it'll make you feel good. Well, I was open-minded at that day. So I walked in, and I asked him if he'd do it to me. He said, well, sure. And he stuck what they call them BI-62s back then. You have to be an old dope fiend to know what that is, but it's speed, basically. All I can tell you is I came out of that bathroom and I knew where the Army got their commercial, okay? I came out of that bathroom being all I could be, I tell you that. And I thought this was the greatest thing in the world. Not only can you express love, you can do it for like, I don't know, 7, 8 days in a row, you know what I mean? And you don't really need to sleep, you don't need to eat. Really fantastic drug. However, if you love that many days in a row, you'll get weird. And a matter of fact, when you go out of the apartment, NASA will employ a satellite just for your ass, I guarantee you that. And kind of got paranoid, you know. I know when you don't eat too, either like that, you start getting skinny. I got so skinny that if I walked too fast, my legs would whistle. And that was kind of a bummer when you're trying to be incognito. Something else I found out about it, though, is if you mix up a bunch of it and shoot it in your arm, you can go to sleep. It's called overamp, solves 2 problems. When you wake up, you're going, wah. And because I don't know what your burning issue of the day was, but when I wake up, it goes basically like this. Is there any left? Or where can I get some? Things like that. If you do that, solves those problems immediately. Well, what happened after that, I ran into my friend Alan. Alan had a little bitty piece of paper, couldn't hurt anybody. And I said, what are you doing? He said, well, we're going to eat these. I said, what for? He said, because it'll make you feel good. And apparently, you'll be able to express love. So I ate a couple of them, and they were very small, but I express love. That's all I can tell you. I love the way the little thing on the ceiling the bumps came all the way down to here. And I liked the way when we started talking to each other, that was like, you know, echoes and stuff. And one conversation, as long as it was just me and him, I could hang pretty well. We started deciding that we didn't need to get jobs or anything in our life. We just needed to know the meaning of the cosmos. And to tell you the truth, we did. And but I'll never forget that day. We're sitting there, and all of a sudden we ran out of cigarettes. And I thought, what are we going to do now? He said, well, you're going to go buy some cigarettes. I said, I can't buy no cigarettes. I'm frying on this acid. And he goes, well, we have to. I said, well, you're right, we do. So I started arguing with him, and I got in the boat and started going down the road, like a boat to me. And anyway, I was arguing with him on who's going to go in the store when I moored in front of the store and dropped anchor. And when I realized I was arguing, I'd left him back at the apartment. So anyway, I remember walking through the door going, young, 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 and asked the lady, could I have some cigarettes? And all I can tell you is her head spun, she melted, went down and came back up, and I kind of freaked. I went, oh my God. And I think she said something like, son, are you on drugs? And I said, no, ma'am, but would you do that again? Good friend of mine named Gary, I was unable to express love again because I didn't have anything. And a friend of mine named Gary had a tin sheet of Mandrix. Any Mandrix people in here? Love those pills. And anyway, if you have Mandrix and a car, you're going to jail, okay? The first time I got arrested for Mandrix, I was doing 5 miles an hour in a 55-mile-an-hour zone. I remember the cop just kind of waited for me to get there, you know. And cops had feelings back in those days. Well, so did I. And the way the cops shared their feelings was they knocked on my window and they shared their feelings. Well, I shared my feelings too, and they basically went like this. And they'd take me to jail. I got arrested for parking underneath other cars on the side of the road, parking in ditches. I would go to kind of a citizenship thing I had. When the light turned red, I'd stop. Then it'd turn green, then it'd turn yellow, then it'd turn red, then it'd turn green. I'd be resting. And it seemed like when that happened, the majority of the time there was a car behind me when that happened, and it seemed to always be a police car. And they'd knock on the window and say things like, this is the only shade of green we got around here, and I would argue with them, and I'd end up going to jail. Jail kind of put a stability to my day, to be honest with you. I would come to, and I'd think to myself, I ain't going to get arrested today. Kind of nice. Anyway, to make a long, long story short, I was unable to express love for a while, and I found, and I was on a bunch of probations for not being able to express or receive love, apparently, and I went to one through a bunch of misunderstandings, and people unable to perceive God's will when I explained it to them. They sent me to the penitentiary. So I went in and they gave me a 4-year sentence. I did about 9 months. I got out on first parole, and embarrassing to say, I got better in there. I got healthier in there and all that, and then they let me out. And it only took a while for me to start dying. And the part of my story where I'm just going to tell you that I hit bottom was in 1983, and it was from shooting cocaine. I was shooting cocaine, and I cut myself up. I've had so many seizures, I can't even tell you how many I've had, but they used to not answer the I couldn't get them to answer the door on the dope house door. They called me Fish. So anyway, I was shooting coke this night, and I had a bunch of seizures, and I about killed myself. And I didn't go into the night wanting to do that, though. All I wanted to do was drink and shoot coke. And I didn't know about the phenomenon of craving. I hadn't met you yet, and I don't guess you were looking for me. And the next day, I went to the hospital, and I told them I got in a fight. And because I couldn't tell them, hey, this is what I do for fun on weekends, will you fix me back up so I can do it again? That would be insane. So they did, and I just want you to know that I saw what drugs had been doing to me at that time in my life, and what alcohol had been doing to me, and I knew that I didn't want to use anymore, and that it's killing me, and that I was going to die from it. And I had that information, but as we know, there's a line in our book that says the most powerful desire to stop drinking is absolutely no avail. And all I can tell you is that I don't know if it was a week later. I know it wasn't a month, but I'm on the edge of a motel room bed shooting coke. And I want to quit more than anything in the world. And I want another one more than anything in the world at the same time. Now, from 83 to 91, you have to get somebody else to tell my story. I really don't remember a whole lot, but I was a person that would find things on the ground a lot. I don't know any more about how to explain this, but I've heard it put this way, and it's about the best I got. I believe that there's a line out there somewhere where we're not permitted to go. There's a point out there somewhere that we're not permitted to sink below, and there's a level of pain out there somewhere that no human being is required to endure. And I hit that point in that place, in that line. For me, I was puking in a toilet, and I said the first prayer in her big book, and I ain't seen a big book yet. It says we asked his protection and care with complete abandon. Translated, it goes like this: God, please help me. Now, I've heard about the power that they talk about at church. I've heard about the power that came off a cross and out of a cave. But what I'm going to spend my time talking to you about is the power that comes in the restrooms and lifts people up like me and brings them to the program of Alcoholics Anonymous. The power that you can obviously feel when you're tapped into it. The power I know that has been given us to help others with. That power came into my life and started driving me to that which was good for me, even against my own will. It sent me to a room full of angels in a recovery center called Extended Aftercare. They didn't look like angels. Not a single one of them had a wing. But I got to tell you, they started sharing with me, and it was coming out of their mouth, but that ain't where it was coming from. I was listening with my ears, but that is not what I was hearing with. And I was being transformed by the power that's been here since the beginning of time, that makes the Rocky Mountains and the moon and the stars and the river flow. It was coming from within inside of them, hitting that place inside of me. And this still kind of bugs me, but I do it to everybody I know too. I was brand new, and they said, "Here, read this book." My God. I mean, I'm strung out on 4 different chemicals and you want me to read a book. I'm like, man, can I wait for the movie to come out? And so I said, oh, what the heck. And so I got the book and I started looking for pictures in it. And there ain't none. To this day, frankly, I think there should be. I think there ought to at least be a before and after picture of Bill. You know, Bill puking in the toilet, Bill in a suit. You know, something to give me some hope here. And but there are no pictures in the book, but I tell you what the book there is in there. That is a book of recorded miracles. That's what it is. I got news for you tonight. Victory over alcohol and drugs has already been won. The miracle has already happened. It happened in the 30s. They lived it, and they recorded it. It's in that book, and I started participating in the miracle that already happened in 1991, and I've been participating in it ever since. There was a man there, the head angel of the place, name was Daryl Shalagio. You'd have a different speaker tonight if it wasn't for that man. And he's my hero, and I always will be. Daryl didn't stay sober, and he died from this disease. But you don't have to stay sober or alive to be my hero. I love that man. For as long as I walk around, you'll always hear an echo of him. I believe God uses whatever's at hand. Won't ruin your life to make mine better. He just uses whatever's at hand. Whatever at hand that day was Daryl Shalagio. He said, Chuck, become a student of the big book so you don't have to bet your life on what people share in AA meetings. So I did. And I started looking at the book and reading it and studying it. And then the most important thing, of course, is I put it into my life and I started participating in it. And one of my favorite sentences in the big book is, well, I mean, they're all my favorite. Have you ever noticed, you start highlighting a few things, next thing you know, your whole book's highlighted. But one of my favorite things in there is in chapter 2, the agnostic. It says that I'm either going to live a spiritual life or I'm going to die an alcoholic death. Then it says this isn't an easy alternative to face. Have you ever read that with some sobriety? Let's see. I'm going to die an alcoholic death puking in my own vomit, or I'm going to live a spiritual life. And that's not an easy choice to make. Really? Well, let me share something with you. I've been doing it for years. Let's just pretend there is a normal person in here. Obviously there isn't. And what we'll do is we're going to call him Norm, okay? Norm, in the back there, I have 2 choices for you. One is alcoholic death, puking in your own vomit. And the other one is to live a spiritual life. I promise you, Norm will go, I'll take the spiritual life. I swear to God he will. And it won't take him long either. Okay? Now, ask an alcoholic that. Hey, Alky, alcoholic death, puking in your own vomit, live a spiritual life. They go, let's see. How bad of a death are we talking about? Those are my favorites. Hey, do you have another solution? Well, no. You see, I'm suffering from an illness which only a spiritual experience will conquer. By the way, I know 2 ways to have one. The first way is you drink a river of liquor, you shoot a ton of cocaine, you eat truckloads of pills, and 2 seconds before you die, ask God to help you. You'll have a spiritual experience, I guarantee it. That is kind of dangerous. If you stutter, you're dead. But I got it out just in time, brought me to you. I'm glad he brought me to you, by the way, because that's a dangerous message, by the way. I have a better way, and it's, well, I don't know about better, but it's just, well, a good way of doing both, and it's as the result of these steps. The foundation of my recovery, I believe, in early sobriety, and even to this day, can be found in chapter 2 of Agnostic. Said when we became alcoholics crushed by a self-imposed crisis that we couldn't postpone or evade, we had to fiercely face the proposition that God's either everything or he's nothing, he either is or he isn't. What's my choice to be? Love it when they want me to make a choice. Well, my self-imposed crisis, I understand, is my alcoholism. Nobody tied me down and poured it down my throat. It was self-imposed. And I couldn't postpone or evade it. Trust me, I tried. There were many times I'd be flopping around the floor, and I would like to call time out. I would like to postpone my addiction for, I don't know, a week or two, get something to eat. But I couldn't postpone it. And then I had those days where I'd think, I don't know if this happened to you, but you got one foot in the grave and you think, it's this town that's messing me up. That's what it is. I need to get out of here. So I was going to go to some, I ain't got time to tell that story, but anyway, there's a dope house between here and Austin. I can't get out of this town, and the other reason I can't get away from my alcoholism is because it's inside me. So I can't postpone or evade it. But my self-imposed crisis isn't only my alcoholism. You see, my self-imposed crisis is I can't fix me. I want you to know that if I could have fixed me, I would have fixed me. I know that's heavy, but that's what I'd have done. And God, I tried and I couldn't, so I wash up in here. I end up in a body that won't die with a mind that has no dreams or aspirations left in them. By the way, that is a beautiful place to be. It sounds terrible, but it's a glorious place to be. I wash up in here and y'all read First Meeting. Probably no human power can relieve my alcoholism. You know what that means? That means you can't fix me. Well, if I can't fix me and you can't fix me, who's going to fix me? Well, there better be a God or I'm SOL. So the question, God either is or he isn't, self-expressed itself in my life in the recovery process. You see, God either is or I ain't. And I am. So is he. I'm in this recovery center, and Daryl, if you got it, you can spot it, I guess. And he walks up to me, and he's all excited and cheerleadery and stuff. And he goes, "You want to do the third-step prayer? You want to do the third-step prayer?" Oh, God. I thought, well, one of the beautiful things about being in a body that won't die with a mind that doesn't work anymore, when somebody says that to you, you'll go, sure. Whatever. You know, I don't have really enough thought life left to go, should I? What's that mean? You know, and all that stuff. Anyway, he got on his knees and he held his hands out, and I held my hands out, and he grabbed them. Thank you, Daryl. And he said, God, I offer myself to thee. You know what? I didn't think he'd have anything to do with me, to be honest with you. But you did. God, how important it is that we conduct ourselves here. I didn't think God had anything to do with me, but you did. Maybe this God you're talking about will too. I feel him inside of me, and I don't even know what it is. Relieve me of the bondage of self so I can better do your will. You know what? I want to do his will. I really do. I just don't know how. Okay? Take away my difficulties so that victory over them may bear witness to those I would help. Bearing witness simply means being an example that God will take a burned out, blown away ex-convict who had no friends. His life is meaningless and meaning less and less every day, and he feels useless. And what happens is he takes that prayer and he sets him up wherever I am, talking about God. Shoot, it worked. I was instructed, and that was very important to see, that there is no amen after the third step prayer, because amen means so be it, complete. And there isn't one. However, there is one after the seventh step prayer, which tells me that the third step and the seventh step are all part of the same prayer. And the fourth and the fifth are the actions I get to take to make the prayers effective. So I started to write an inventory. Now, if you're like me and you're new and you go, man, it's hard to get started, like, who do I resent myself, and all that stuff, So Daryl, what a guy. He helped me. He goes, here's what you do, Chuck. You just get a piece of paper out and you just go, all right, who do I know? All you got to do is make a list of people you know. And bam, first column's done. Second column, what bugs me about you? You kidding? That's a gift I was born with. I can tell what's wrong with you, just automatically, Sometimes I feel like you ought to know, so I tell you, but just something I kind of know what's wrong with you. But you know what? Tell you the truth, I've been spending all my life walking around telling you who bugs me and why. Now all I got to do is put it on a piece of paper. Gee, that's easy. Okay, then there's 7 areas of my life that it can affect. The real technical things, self-esteem, personal relations, sex. All right, here's what you do, or what I do. I put all. I'll be dang, I'm almost finished, okay? And so anyway, I take it back to Daryl and I go, I got my inventory done. He says, oh yeah? I said, that's not yours. I said, hey, I felt like he accused me of stealing somebody's inventory in the recovery center. I said, this is mine. I've been working on it real hard. And he read it and he said, well, yeah, but it's not yours. It's everybody else's. Let's take yours now. Squeeze me? There's a guy there named, oh God, I'm terrible with names, Jim. So I don't even remember my dog's name, and I've had it for 2 weeks now. About 2 months now, this new one. Lily, never mind, I do. But Jim Goodson, I remember his name because they wound him up in the morning, and his only job was to ask people, where are you to blame? You go, hey, what time's group start? Where are you to blame? Hey, wait, man, can I, well, what time is it? Where are you to blame? And I remember the first time you asked me that, you must have been speaking Japanese, you know what I mean? I didn't really get it. But what I did was I got help with mine, okay? And here's all I can share with you. All I had to do was get one of them, and the rest fell like dominoes. So the greatest statement of freedom in our big book is true. So our troubles, we think, are basically of our own making. Thank God, okay? If they're not, I'd have to track everybody down in my first column, walk up to them and say, hey, will you start acting right so I can get well? Or I recognize that my troubles are my own making. And good luck on that one, by the way, although I do still try it. I got to share this with you, and I'll never forget this. I took my inventory and I went over to Jim's house in Pasadena. My first inventory, to be honest with you, was just something to stall time with, to read to you, till I talked about what I really needed to talk about. And that was just for me. So I stalled time by reading my inventory to Jim when we went out in his garage. And I put my chin on my chest and I started sharing with Jim. Now, after I told Jim the things that I had so long hidden, I thought he would say things like, don't tell anybody I sponsor you, or don't really want you to come around here anymore. But what he did was he got up and he walked across and he hugged me. And I want you to know something. He loved me more than before I said that. And I want you to know something else. I loved him more too. And then as I was walking out of Jim's garage, I don't know how you explain this, but the book tries to. It says that you'll have a feeling that your drink problem has disappeared and it might come strongly. All I can tell you is, as I was walking across Jim's front yard, it felt like God was inside of me and outside of me with his arms around me from within. And our spirits were so connected, it was hard to tell the difference between the two. And I came to you totally obsessed. And it did disappear, walking across Jim's front yard. I got back in my car, and I put my seatbelt on, and I don't wear seatbelts. I don't think I very seldom drive the speed limit either, but I probably drove under it going back to the recovery center because I wasn't going anywhere. I was already there. There's a line in our book that says, returning home, you find a place where you can be quiet for an hour. I tell you where home is. It's right here. And I realized that what I'd been looking for in that pill-fixed drink joint I was looking with. And it is inside me. The only message I have, I'm sure I'm already out of time, is if you're new here, here's what I want to say to you. You're not missing anything. There's nothing to get here. You already got it. You were born with it. It's just covered up. It's just blocked. There's a story about Michelangelo. He made the statue of David. They asked him, how did he make it? He said, I just took a block of stone and I chipped away everything that didn't look like him. That's how I got it. Well, that describes my recovery. I came to you as a very willing block of stone. The steps, the meetings, the loving each other, the sharing of the secrets is the chisel. And God's the sculptor. And one day at a time, he's chipped away everything that doesn't look like me. So far, this is what we have. I haven't even changed since I got here. I've just discovered the good that's always been inside of me. Just want to try to wrap up this expression of love and the receiving of love. I truly believe that an alcoholic and an addict is a person with an extreme capacity to love, but with no way to express it or receive it. And I used alcohol and drugs to express it. It quit working. It needs repeated quite often, and then I promise you, it quit working. And instead of killing the pain, it would get me more involved in it. Well, when you're in a body that can't love, express, or receive it, it is hell. It really is. So what I'd like to say to you and thank you for is loving the hell out of me. That's what you did. My job today, and has been for a while now, is just walk around and express as much love as I can and receive as much love as I can. I can't tell you which is the most difficult, though. They're both difficult for me, and they're both a struggle. And I'll end with a song that kind of wraps it up for me by James Taylor. I'm going to sing it for y'all. Bullshit. Actually, I'm going to just share it with you. It goes like this. I needed the shelter of someone's arms. There you were. I needed somebody to understand my ups and downs. There you were. With sweet love and devotion, deeply touching my emotions. I got to stop. Thank you, baby. I lay in bed at night and wonder where I'd be without you in my life. Everything I did was just a bore. Everywhere I went, it seemed like I'd been there before. But you brightened up for me all of my days with a love so sweet in so many ways. I got to stop and thank you, baby. How sweet it is to be loved by you. Yeah. How sweet it is to be loved by you. Thanks.
I think we got a great talk going on here. Thanks for watching the channel. Taper Dave here. Just curious, do you think this is better than Zoom? Okay, this is how I prepare my drone for launching. I like to do it inside the cab of my truck so I'm not standing outside in the weather. To install the joysticks for control, up and down, right and left, powered on. I have an Android phone that I use to connect it to the drone with. And it's actually controlled through the iPhone, through an app. Oops, wrong way. It's actually controlled through the iPhone, or through this Android phone, through the app. It's actually controlled through the Android phone, through an app, and you connect it through this short connection right here.
Remote control connected.
Remote control's connected. So I pull out the drone. I have to extend the legs. Long legs extended first, then the short legs. Remove the gimbal protector. Set that aside, then power it on one short burst, then one long burst. I lay it down. So I have to go to calibrate. So the drone's not connected yet. It shows you here as this drone gets disconnected, even though the remote's powered on. So the drone has to establish it's connected. So I go into the app to calibration mode. First I'll calibrate the remote controller. Start calibration. Out, in, oop, out, in, up, down, and then this little wheel is to control the gimbal. So it's calibrated. Go to gimbal calibration, start calibration, and then it calibrates the gimbal. I don't know if that shows up. The gimbal's moving all over the place. Changes, you can see it on the video. And I'm calibrated to take off. It's acquired 7 satellites at the moment. There are 26 satellites up in the sky, which it has to acquire before you can take off. So it's connected. It's got enough satellites. This is white. I can go to press this little arrow button, swipe right to take off, and it would start the motors if I slid this to the right, but I'll wait till I get outside. Don't want to do it inside.